नमस्कार, वेलकम टू सारे जहां से अच्छा. आई एम योर होस्ट राजन सहगल. सारे जहां से अच्छा is an attempt to get you closer to your country, अपना देश, अपना भारत. Through these episodes, we try to show you some unique places, unique stay, and unique cultures of India. Friends, today I am going to show you two unique properties or two unique stays, and I am sure after seeing this episode, you will give me lots of blessings. Today we are going to show you the Roseate New Delhi and the Roseate Rishikesh. We have with us the Executive Director of Bird Group, Mr. Ankur Bhatia, who needs no introduction, the man behind the Roseate. Ankurji, I just want to welcome you and ask you how this concept and idea of the Roseate New Delhi and the Roseate Rishikesh came to your mind. Over to Ankurji.
The concept we wanted to do behind Roseate Hotels and Resorts was to have a new generation hospitality with full focus on design and service, unmatched with whatever was existing in the market before. So thus came the first, our flagship property, the Roseate New Delhi, which is located on the National Highway 8, right in the center between Delhi and Gurgaon. This particular concept was made around trees. So at this particular site, we have nearly 1,000 trees and only 65 keys on nearly 8 acres of land. The concept at the airport was to have a more modernist infrastructure for the new generation traveler. In Rishikesh was to be in the midst of nature, independent cottages next to the Ganges. And in the UK, where we had to acquire existing properties, the concept was to have a bit of local flavor there. But all this is actually bound together by the concept of the Roseate Hospitality Services. And with these, we have for now been able to create our brand, Roseate Hotels and Resorts.
Many thanks, Ankurji, for your time and giving us the brief about the Roseate Group. Now, first I'll take you to the Roseate New Delhi, and to give you a guided tour of the Roseate New Delhi, we have with us Mr. Kush Kapoor, who is a well-known name in the hospitality industry and the CEO of the Roseate Group of Hotels. Over to you, Mr. Kush Kapoor. Please let us know about the welcome, about the rooms of categories, about activities, the spa, the wellness, and any other special things about the Roseate New Delhi. Over to you, Kush. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Saigal, for a wonderful opportunity, and good evening to everybody. Let me run through the properties what we have, and this is perfect what Mr. Saigal just mentioned. Also, this is perfect for the time what we are in right now. COVID, we all are aware, and everybody wants to get out of their homes. Everybody is dying to come out of their space, and they want to move to those properties which are not spacious in terms of volumes, but yes, they should be spacious for somebody to move around, relax, enjoy, get the peace of mind, which is, I guess, and people are ready to pay anything for that for today's time, right? So I'm introducing, starting with the Roseate, which is in New Delhi. This is about less than 15 minutes drive from the domestic airport and less than 10 minutes drive from the international airport. It's an 8 acres land, but the beauty of that resort, once you are into the resort, you actually get lost. There are about more than 1,500 trees out there in the resort. And when the resort was built, that none of these trees were actually broken down or they were cut. They were taken out from their roots and they were planted in different places when we were making the rooms in the resort. So when you talk about nature, the entire focus was given to the resort as being eco-friendly resort. So as I mentioned, not even a single tree has been cut when this resort was being built up. You got a lot of space out there, but for the travelers, for our esteemed travelers, when you enter the resort, you are welcomed personally by the reception. All your things in terms of reg card, everything is all digitalized. You don't have to sign any reg card. There is no paper. Everything is all automatic. You come to the counter. We only take the keys out there, and every single guest is escorted to the room. And this happens in all our hotels and resorts all over India and even in UK hotels. So what I'm trying to explain is absolutely in terms when we talk about peace, we talk about quietness, when we talk about relaxation, you literally do not have to stand in the queues at the reception counter. You are escorted at any point. So even if you are checking at 2 a.m. early in the morning, you still are escorted to your rooms. The traditional welcome is always given with an Aarti Tikka, which is on your forehead, which we always pray for our travelers, peace, security, and obviously the welcome to get better health when they are obviously coming to our resort. This is right into the center of Delhi. With an 8-acre of land, only I have a handful of 65 rooms, but one single room is the smallest size of the room is actually the biggest room in the entire NCR Delhi. So we are talking about 650 square feet size of the room. And this is the smallest rooms we are talking about. We got 4 different categories of the rooms out there. We got 2 different categories of the suites out there. The topmost obviously is the presidential suite, where again you enter and you actually can get lost with your family members out there. There are the 4th category of the room if I talk about. So starting from we got the pool rooms, we got the garden views, and the 4th category is actually when you are sitting in your room, you can actually open the balcony door, and in front of you is right the pool. Now this pool is actually, you can actually go into the pool right from the rooms. And if I just give you probably the beauty of the pool, this swimming pool is the longest swimming pool in the country right now. It's 102 meters pool, which is nowhere in the country in India right now. When I talk about beauty of the resort, as I said, once you enter the resort, I mean, you actually find it difficult. You don't realize that you're in Delhi, right? Because it's with the 1500 plus trees out there. The food which is coming into for you after the preparation by the chefs, it's actually organic food out there. You can actually pluck the vegetables from there. You can actually take, we get a lot of, I would say, organic fruits, which are all seasonal fruits. So I would say you've got fair amount of menu proposition, which has lots and lots of organic food, because that's the beauty, or that's the concept of the resort. When you come to the resort, you really need to, I mean, I would say get probably into the wilderness, still being in the part of the city, which is obviously, we know it's Delhi is pretty crowded. But as I said, with 65 rooms, it has a very small banquet hall, but still it has become a wedding destination resort out there. So the resort, most of the times when the wedding destination, when the wedding times are there, it gets fully booked. So we have people who are actually book the resorts from 3 nights to 5 nights. And all their events, all their functions happens out there. We got a lovely Chinese restaurant, which is a very authentic Chinese restaurant. It's one of its kind, because there is no brick or no mortar which has actually been used to build that restaurant. It's a complete 1-tent restaurant. It's a 140-seater restaurant, so pretty spacious. But as I said, it's 1 tent. It's slightly on the top, probably. It's a small hill, so you actually have to climb the steps. From where you can actually get a complete view of the resorts. You got lots and lots of water bodies out there. People will be surprised that we still want to get the old traditions back into our hotels and resorts, the Indian traditions and the customs, I would say. So we got a lovely temple out there, and we have a priest who comes every evening for about an hour. And even if there is a guest who comes to the temple or doesn't come to the temple, we still recite all the prayers, and the rituals are done irrespective if somebody is there or not. We do the evening aarti out there. So guests are always welcome to attend those evening aartis, be part of that also. We got water bodies, as I mentioned, out there. So you can actually lit the diyas, and you can let those diyas in the water body, which gives you a feeling that you may be in smaller, like a part of Varanasi or maybe a Haridwar, where you put your diyas and small candles in those the water bodies out there. When I come to talk about the food, as I mentioned, the chefs have an advantage. We also have an organic farm which is next to the resort. We got our own cows actually out there. So the entire milk which comes into the resort whatever we produce out of the milk from the milk, as in the milk products, it's all coming from the cows from the farmhouse. And we get the milk on a daily basis out there. As I mentioned, in terms of the food quality, it's purely organic out there. Yes, you do have an option for veg and non-veg. For international travelers, you do have non-vegetarian food also out there. We also mentioned, as I mentioned, we've recently introduced our own mithais, and we give these mithais in 2 boxes. This is also on online now. In fact, I would say during this period when most of the people are getting into health conscious, as I mentioned, these mithais are again prepared by the milk which comes to the resort. So it's authentic mithais. There is no sugar which is added into the mithais, so it makes you more healthier. It's organic, so it's good for health. We produce these mithais in the resort in 2 boxes. One is 4 boxes and the other is 16 boxes. So even if you Google or even if you check our website, the brand is called as Mithai by Rosie. So these are 16 different varieties of mithais, and these are becoming very popular right now with the NCR Delhi market out with us. Also from a guest offering, I've got a couple of things to discuss out here. As I said, the check-in part is 24/7, which means that you do not wait at the counter. At any point of time you check in, you are taken straight to the rooms. Second, all our hotels and resorts are completely non-smoking. So which means the guests obviously are not allowed to smoke, including our team members also are not allowed to smoke in the resort. So it makes it more healthier. It makes it more smoke-free. And that's the reason you find, as I mentioned, with the trees and the water bodies all around, it makes a complete heaven environment out there. So we call it as like a home away from home, even for the people coming from NCR Delhi, because it's also become a wedding destination. Plus, it's also become on weekends, it's a weekend destination. So there are a lot of staycation packages when people just drive in. Even if they're not able to actually go out of the NCR Delhi city, they can still be in the center of Delhi. They can still be in a resort and enjoy all the facilities out there. We do not have a concept of buffets in our resorts. And most of the resorts actually work on buffets, but we've taken out all the buffets from our resort, which also tells you, so the food which is prepared for you is hygienic. It's in front of you. We don't have any kitchens where the chefs go behind the kitchens and prepare the food. The kitchens are all live kitchens. So you actually see the food getting prepared live in front of you. We got a lovely pizza maker out there, which is a pizza oven, which is based out of charcoal. So you actually get that flavor when you are sitting in a coffee shop or next to the water bodies, and you get the hot food delivered right in front of you. Last year also, we've done some innovations in terms of our food and beverages, if I talk about. And as I mentioned earlier also, we want to bring the Indian culture and customs back. And I'm just referring out here as to the one of the probably hot selling beverages during summer seasons in North India called as lassis. So my chefs, along with my owning company chairperson, Ma'am Radha Bhatia. Ma'am Radha Bhatia has actually been the key person behind this book. She's launched this book last year, and this book has become very popular within the chefs community and the people who really want to get the Indian culture back. So we roughly serve about 25 different varieties of lassis in all our hotels and resorts right now in India, and there are few of them are also being served in UK hotels. And I'm talking about right from a mango to rose to ginger to garlic lassis to charcoal lassis. You got so many type of flavors you actually see, and also these during summers are given to you during your check-in as a welcome drink from our hotels on that part. Besides that, also we do different organic welcome drinks, which people love. And there are some signature foods, if I have to just put it across right now. We do a lot of microgreens salads in our resorts, which is one of our specialties. If I talk about the Rosie at New Delhi, we've just recently started, which is also called as the ash chicken tikka, which has become very favorite with our guests. As I also mentioned earlier, our organic fruits and our organic vegetables are again a major hit for our guests. We recently started during this summer season, we've started the burgers, which is a concept a mix of, I would say, a concept which is mixed between kulchas and the burgers. This is called as Amritsari kulcha stuffed burger. But we do not use the burgers. So we do not get anything from outside our hotels, which we offer to our guests. So everything is prepared within the hotels and offered in the resort to the guests out there. And sorry, forgot to mention one point. The breakfast, there is no timing for breakfast in our hotels. You know, like typical hotels, you have to rush even during your weekends because your breakfast timing is 10 or 10:30. We've removed the timings from all our hotels long back in resorts. So you as a guest literally can wake up at any point of time. So even if I'm talking about, we get a lot of international travelers who are working throughout the night because they are working in different time zones. So let's assume that I've come from US, which has a different time zone, and I'm here for work or relaxation. So you are completely relaxed because you will not be called or bothered that there is a buffet which is getting over from the breakfast. So please rush to the coffee shop, nothing of that sort. So even if you've woken at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, please walk up to the coffee shop, pick up a breakfast menu and order anything from there. And it's all on the house, it's all complimentary. So the point I'm trying to explain out here is when you enter the hotels or the resorts, the Roseate resorts, we've gone as far as possible in terms of flexibility so that the guest does not feel that he's come to those typical resorts which have foundations of the time limits. So that's what I wanted to say. One of the spa in the entire NCR Delhi, which has the only hammam bath, which is available in NCR Delhi, is in the resort right now out there. We got lovely 4 treatment rooms. We got a small gym out there. But as I mentioned earlier also, we got series of activities pertaining to even the families when they come on the weekends with the kids. We got a huge kids room out there. You have lots and lots of activities for kids. We got greens in terms of small gardens and the walkways out there where we do a lot of weekends activities for the guests. And even if there are corporates coming in, we got small lawns out there where they can play the table tennis, badminton, lawn tennis, volleyball. So you know that it's the list goes on and on in that case in terms of people who want to relax and enjoy. When we talk about people who just wants to come for yoga, meditation, we got advanced, from a basic to advanced yoga trainers in our resorts also. So on weekends, in the morning hours, your 1-hour yoga session is always complimentary. But in case you want to extend that and you want to learn advanced yoga sessions, I've got the yoga trainers for that also. People generally do come out there. We have different packages, even in the resort in Delhi, which ranges from a 2 nights to even a 7 nights stay. Now, in 7 nights stay, people generally want to get into the activities. Of course, we understand in 7 nights, you cannot reduce your weight, but you can come into the class or the sessions where you can start grooming how to and what food, what time, and then post, even without, you can still be online with our yoga instructors from the resort. And that's how we take it forward from there. Most of these scrubs, if I have to mention the specialty of the spa, are done in-house. So which means when we use these organic foods and the fruits, we prepare your face scrubs and your body scrubs also from them. Of the marriages, as I said, the resort in New Delhi is also a wedding destination. If I just have to give an example, we do roughly about 30 to 35 weddings in a year. So when I talk about a wedding, one wedding can last from a 2 nights to about 5 nights also. So it's a huge amount of business for us in our resort. And also people love, because I do weddings from 50 rooms, as I said, to 100 guests. And these weddings can go as high as about 500 to even 700 people. Because in those cases, we have space around in the resort, which can be covered if required, and we can do the weddings in that case. So a wedding of 50 packs to a weddings of 700 to 800 packs can be very, very comfortably and easily done in the resort. In terms of new normal, we've taken a lot of precautionary steps. I will take precaution steps starting from my employees, because my employees are the people who will be taking care of the guests. So I'll give you a couple of steps what we've already put in all our hotels and resorts, including the resort in New Delhi. So first thing comes first, we've done the test for all our employees in our hotels and resorts. And I'm also talking about the COVID test for our contractual employees also. Now, being a functional resort, I have employees, I have a set of employees who are staying in my resort. So we given set number of rooms for our employees to stay within our resort to make sure they are safe, they do not step on the resort, and they are within the resort. All my employees are checked for temperature twice every day. Even if you are coming as a guest, you need to show your Arogya Setu app, which also is mandatory for the employees. And also the guests have to undergo temperature check once every day. These records are all maintained with us in our systems. So tomorrow, God forbid, anything goes wrong, we know where to figure out things, where things have gone wrong. When I talk about the new normal, as I mentioned, we completely gone paperless now. So example, as I mentioned earlier also, you as a guest, when you are coming to check in, you do not have to sign any paper. There is no pen for you. Everything is digitalized. You actually can do the formalities sitting at your own home even before you come to the hotel. So you can upload all your documents, requirements, everything out there. Even when you're checking out, we request you to give us about half an hour so that we can forward the bills on your system. I mean, you can easily view it on your mobile or laptop or iPad. Once you approve us, we can send the final bill also to you on your email. So we are talking about completely going paperless. We are maintaining 6 feet minimum distance, which the government obviously has made it mandatory, and we follow those rules. Even in our heart of the house areas, if I talk about the cafeteria or even the manning, as I said, is bare minimum at the moment because we don't want to crowd our hotels and resorts right now, unless and until the situation becomes better or the government allows us to obviously come back to the normal situation on that part. So in terms of linen, I would say linens, obviously it's washed, which was done earlier also. But when a guest checks out of our hotels and resorts, we lock that room minimum for 24 hours, which means I don't sell that room again to another guest right now. So we are trying to minimize as much as possible in terms of hazards. The rooms are all fumigated. The front employees, whichever employees are direct contact with the guests, even if I'm talking about the guards on the porch, the employees at the reception, the housekeeping people, and the food and beverage people, they all have to wear the mask. They all have to wear the gloves when they're serving the guest, when they are in front of the guest, and also they cover the eyes because we've got some specially nice goggles made for them, which obviously safeguard them from even the guests, even from each other for that matter. I also would like to brief on 2 things right now also when we talk about hygiene and transparency, because everybody is talking about in today's time. So we've started a new concept, which is first of its kind in India. So we do food deliveries also right now, which is allowed by the government also. So when you order your food, so suppose you are from NCR, Delhi, and you order food from your mobile or laptop or desktop, the moment you order the food online, you get a link. You open the link and you can actually see from the live camera, from your mobile, you can actually see my chefs preparing your food in my kitchens. Wow. Which has never happened in India till date. There is zero hotel which has got into this. So when I talk about hygiene, when I talk about transparency, we've actually gone to that level extent. Perfect. We also have been certified by FSSC certification, which is Food Safety System certification. Roseate House, AeroCity, if I talk about, is the first hotel in India and the 5th hotel in the world to get that level of certification when you talk about food safety and security in terms of hygiene standards.
Thank you very much, Kush, for giving us a guided tour of the Roseate New Delhi. Friends, now we'll take you to more close to nature on the banks of river Ganges, the Roseate Rishikesh. And Kush will also explain us how beautifully that hotel is, the location, the connectivity, the facilities, how many rooms or villas they have, and what kind of services you will get it over there. Over to you, Kush.
Coming to Rishikesh Ganges, let me take you through a journey, how to reach, first of all, Rishikesh Ganges, because it's in itself a story out there. So if you're traveling from Delhi or NCR, if you have means by road or even you can travel by air, there are 11 flights which go to Dehradun Airport. It's called as Jolly Grant Airport. It's only 25 minutes and 30 minutes flight. You land at the airport. Our cars from the Roseate Rishikesh Ganges are parked out there to receive you. From the Rishikesh Jolly Grant Airport in Dehradun to the Rishikesh Resort, it's about 45 minutes drive, but I can tell you this is one of our drive because all you see is hills which are all covered with green trees. You see the river which is flowing next to you when you're driving from there. Our team is always there to welcome you. Being of 45 minutes, and you actually pass through the Rajaji National Park, where at times I've been there for about more than 15 times in the last 1 year. There have been 3 times when our car was stopped because there was a horde of, I would say, elephants which were passing from the road out there. So they stop you on the way, obviously, because I mean they are the, I would say, the animals of the jungle where you are passing through. So that's the beauty of, and this is much before you actually visit or reach the resort out there. Once you reach the resort, I would say it's more of a heaven on earth. And the reason, again, very simple. We talk about the time where we are in situation we are in. We are only talking about handful of 16 private villas out there, 16 private villas, 0 banquet hall. I would say not even again a coffee shop, a very small coffee shop, but again without any buffets out there. The chefs are there. We got personalized butlers for 16 private villas for you to attend out there. The moment you reach out there, again you are welcomed, given a traditional welcome with Aarti Tikka and garlands out there. The person that takes you directly into your private villa offers you the welcome drink out there. It gives you the first butler gives you an orientation about the private villa, which takes roughly about, I would say, 15 minutes to 25 minutes, because we really want you to take you through the journey. We want you to understand what in next 2 nights to even up to 14 nights, because we do have travelers who stay there even for 14 nights. And I'll explain you the reason why they stay for 14 nights. So we want to explain you what you should expect from a place like that. And most of the times, as I mentioned, people come to those 16 private villas only to get completely mesmerized with that place, only because it's itself a part of the forest. So we're talking about handful private villas, 16 private villas. All the private villas have individual balconies. You've got a good piece of lawn in front of you in every balcony. There is a lot of space moving around. As I say, because you itself are part of the forest, so you can understand the amount of trees out there. At times, it is even difficult. So when you're sitting in your villas off your balcony, you can actually see the river Ganga flowing down in front of you because you're on a hill. But when it comes to monsoon, the forest becomes so thick, you do not even see the river Ganga flowing in front of you. Otherwise, we got our own steps from the hill down into the river Ganga, which takes about 5 minutes to 7 minutes walk down. You got your own private beach, which is a complete white sand private beach. The beauty of the place is, as I mentioned, there is nothing in and around of at least 5 kilometers of the resort, which means you actually do not see any human being, at least for the next 5 kilometers in and around that place. Now, this place is ideally situated right on the highway, which is 18 kilometers up from Rishikesh and 3.5 kilometers further ahead from Shivpuri. So no shops, no hotels, no houses, nothing at all. So as I said, you're on your own out there. When we talk about food, again, as I said earlier also, for our Delhi property, the food is completely organic for you. No buffet system means you order when you want to eat. So we request our guests for one particular meal. So if you had breakfast right now, we request you to let us know what would you prefer to have for lunch. We do have our menus, and those menus are all digitized. It's all on your phone, because looking at today's situation, we've removed maximum paperwork from our hotels, including for our guests and employees. So actually your food order is taken in advance. So that obviously you know, and even the chefs know, because the food is always prepared healthy for you. We don't have any pre-prepared food, and we don't warm. So we do not have the kind of facility where we prepare the food in advance, keep it, and then reheat for you. You order when you want, and the food will be prepared in front of you at that point of time. Lots and lots of activities which you can do in the resort. We got spas out there, we got lovely infinity pool, and this infinity pool is heated pool during winters also. So the temperature is about 30 degrees centigrade. Now, similar to our resort in Delhi, which we've discussed earlier, we got again the yoga instructors which are trained to do from the basic yoga to the advanced level of yogas. And actually, I had guests from Europe, from US, from Canada, from Australia who come and they pre-book the place. Because, I mean, it's always important to pre-book a 16 private villa space. Otherwise, most of the time, it's always sold out. This is more popular with the Western or the European people because we find a lot of them in today's time, they really want to get out of their homes in a place where they can just relax. They want to get out of and have their own space, I would say, on that side. So we have guests who stay. So the minimum stay in the resort, which we have on an average, is between 3 nights. And maximum, we have couples and even single lady travelers who've traveled from different parts of the world and they've stayed even for 14 nights. Even if you check our website, you'll find a lot of pictures of the single lady travelers who've just doing yoga, meditation at the private beach, because this is one of a spot where, as I mentioned, there are less of human beings around you and more of vegetation around you. Close by to the resort, you got old caves where you can still go in today's time and you can actually meditate for hours and hours and hours out there. Otherwise, you got for families, you still have a lot of activities in and around. You got river jumping, you got bungee jumping, you got river rafting out there, and for a lot of other activities for the kids also we got out there. We prepare, as I said, the chefs are, most of the employees are from in and around the area only. So they know the people very well. They know the fruits, vegetables, again, as I said, are all organic. Lassis are also served out there during the hot weather, which is, I would say, summer seasons. Microgreen salads are abundant out there, which are loved by the people out there. There is what we do out there, which is one of our favorite dish for Indians, and few foreigners also love that. We prepare gajar ka halwa, and I can vouch for this for my chefs. When you eat and tell us, most of the people obviously will always say it's made out of gajar, but there is zero gajar which is added into that for making a gajar ka halwa. That halwa is actually prepared from tomatoes, which are raw, organic tomatoes from the region out there. And that's the beauty of the food which is prepared by the chefs to get you in out there. Again, as I mentioned, you come in out there, there is no line which you stand. Everybody is escorted to the room. No buffets. As I said, breakfast 24/7. Order at your ease. The moment you wake up, whatever time you want to have lunch, breakfast, dinner, you're all at your ease on your own out there.
Indians who are going.
Yeah. Yes. So, Mr. Saigal, what we've done also, we've taken the concept, and this is what we try doing in most of our hotels and resorts. So you definitely can go to watch evening Aarti, which is there at the Parmat Ashram, which is about, I would say, about 30 minutes drive from the resort. But what we've done right now also, we've got priests into our resort also, the way we have priests in Delhi property. So those priests also do the evening Aarti next to the Ganga, which is at our private beach. So if you want to have that kind of experience and you do not want to drive down for half an hour, drive down to see that among so many of people, you have that facility also right now in the resort. Yes, the private villas means I can take an occupancy for 2. So we are roughly talking about 30-35 people. I do have a small room which can be utilized for corporates. And I have done fair good amount of corporate where they've taken the entire resort for 3 nights and 5 nights. They've done their boardroom meetings. They've done their budget meetings actually out there, because that's the place to be in, to get relaxed and get your budgets for next year prepared out there. So this boardroom has a good capacity to take about 30 people at one go, with the screens and all the facilities which are required for you to do an corporate event out there. But the corporates also love, as I said, because along with your meetings after 9 to 6, you got tons of space to move around, go to the beach, relax, sand, yoga, meditation, walk around, fresh air, raw probably vegetables, mangoes, pluck them on your own, bring it to the kitchen. You can actually also, if you are a foodie and you really want to cook the food, we give you the flexibility to go into the kitchen and prepare your own food in case you want to do that also.
Wow. So these are the two properties which we showed you today, and I'm sure you have started giving me lots of blessings. To make this episode more interesting, more informative, we need your suggestions and inputs. Please send us your inputs at info@passionals.in. We see you next Friday, same time, same day. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed. God bless all. Thank you very much.